Welcome to Life Starts Now, a show where we commit to being transparent about the transition into adulthood and some of the exciting yet challenging things that brings. I am Cole Netton. Joined with me today is my beautiful wife, Kate Netton. How's it going?
Pretty good. I love me some Sunday nights.
Yep. Procrastination at its finest, releasing on Monday. Actually, last week we recorded on Monday too, so that was
released
rough.
on Monday. We promised we wouldn't do that again.
Yep. So anyway, it's Sunday night here, and today we are going to be talking about living expenses and how to find the right place to live within your means.
Yeah. Whether that be an apartment, buying a house, whatever kind of stage you're in. Just a couple things that we've seen along the way. How we made some of those decisions.
Yes, and we are in the stage of renting an apartment. We do have some steps that we take, and we are not at the house buying step now, but soon, hopefully, yes. But we have done some tips and tricks that we did to find a cheaper or less expensive apartment in the downtown area, which ultimately... This isn't a forever thing, renting. So ultimately that helped us to be able to get out of debt faster.
Yep.
And it's kind of a sacrifice to save up some more money for a house in the future. So.
Yeah. Before we get too far though, why? We always like to kind of tell you why are we doing this topic? What's our purpose behind it? Why do we think it's important? And the topic of your place of living or whatever that may be at this time in your life, your mortgage or your rent can really make or break a budget. If you're living somewhere you're making it, but it's too expensive, the rest of your budget is going to be really, really tough. And so since we just talked about making a budget, we thought it was fitting how we should maybe bring up some things on this topic, as we really believe that it can give you the freedom to move in your budget, or it can really tighten things up to a point that makes it really difficult.
Yep, this will be the biggest thing per month that you pay for.
Most likely.
Most likely, yeah.
The biggest change coming from your check.
Unless, I don't know what you're doing, but if you're paying for something else more than rent, then you might want to change that up a bit.
Yeah.
So, to start off, the first thing that you kind of need to think about is how much can you afford? And the rule that we go by, which has really helped us out, is it has to be at or below 25% of your take-home pay per month. So, what that means is come up with how much money you take home per month, and then 1/4 of that is what you should be putting towards rent. Now, that doesn't include utilities, internet, anything else like that. That is just pure rent for the space that you live in.
Yeah, and that 25% is like, a rough number. We chose to go below that, which has turned out to be amazing because...
Yes.
25% is kind of the max that we would recommend. And again, that's not a number that we made up. It's a number that our mentor, Travis, gave to us. Shout out to Travis. I know he's going to be listening to this soon. But anyways, he came with that number. I know he pulled that from other resources too. So that 25% mathematically is just how it all works out. If you're paying more than that, then your budget's going to be tough to make, and you're going to have to tighten up in other areas, and you're not going to have as much freedom to spend in other ways. And if you're below that, then the rest of the math kind of works itself out.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more stressful if you're paying so much for rent, to where it's going to cut down on a lot of other stuff.
Yeah. So that's the first step, is you decide how much it is that you can afford before you ever put a finger at a computer and start looking. Decide what your budget is, because we'll get into this a little later, but you're not even going to want to bother looking at things outside of your budget, because they're going to be amazing, they're going to be awesome, and you're going to want to live there.
Yep.
So don't even mess with it.
Right. And this is going to be the best way to cut down places in your location. So where we are, downtown Des Moines, I can't even name how many places are down here. So many. But we were able to the first thing we looked at was the price. And if it was over our budget, we didn't even look at it because we knew we'd probably want it. Usually, I think the number one thing for price is the location. So closer to downtown, like right in the middle of it, they were a little higher. But normally, a higher rent's going to mean either a little more space or a little nicer place to live.
Amenities,
Appliances and things like that. So that will be a big thing to take out. It'll help you cut your searching in, at least half. Because
if you're in like a highly populated area and things like that, any of the suburbs of cities, like you're gonna have a lot of options. Maybe that's not you. Which makes your life easier. But
definitely.
So after you decide how much you can afford, you need to decide what are your non-negotiables. So what do you absolutely need to have in your apartment or in your home or things like that. So for us, or I guess sharing some of our thoughts when we thought about this, I knew that just based on my busy lifestyle, if I did not have laundry inside our unit, I was going to struggle. I'm the one who does our laundry here. I know, big shocker. But that was going to be really difficult just with my schedule. I knew I needed it to be convenient and be inside our house. And that was something that was worth it to me. Because there are places that are coin, or I would say most other places, they're coin operated in apartments. Anyways, and you probably know that from college as well. So that was a non-negotiable for us. Other non-negotiables you might think about is location. Are you dead set on one spot? Or are you okay with moving here or there? Or does the location matter to you?
A lot of that has to do with commuting to work and stuff. And if you're comfortable with adding an extra 15 minutes to where you drive, or if you go somewhere a couple times a week, you want to be close to that too, or in between. For us, we were pretty set on downtown.
We looked at a few places. I work in West Des Moines. That's where I teach. And so I wanted to either be downtown, no further than downtown, but we looked at a couple of places out west too.
We did. Yep.
Either way, that year before we moved, we lived in Ames, and I was commuting from Ames to West Des Moines, and really anything was going to feel better than that.
Yeah, that's true. And I just work from home, so I just sit behind a computer screen and behind a camera like this all the time. So it didn't matter where I was.
That's actually kind of funny. Because
no, you're right. That's
when
true.
we signed the lease with downtown, or when we decided to move downtown, if you listen to our Getting Out of Debt episode, he worked at the principal building downtown. So we were like, that is perfect. Cole will just walk to work. He'll bike to work. He'll be right here. We're so close. So that was a big kicker.
We were actually considering a place that was like connected to the skywalks to my building for like winter. And so I could walk there and stuff. And,
so glad that did not work out.
My job didn't work out. And so luckily the place we were thinking about was like, gosh, $400 or $500 more than
what
we're paying now. Yeah, what we should have been paying. And we're like, ugh. So it was kind of good we didn't go with that one.
That was definitely God's divine intervention because you quit before we even moved in.
Yep,
so.
That's correct.
We're still happy with our decision. We love living downtown.
Yeah, yep. It's a great atmosphere for us, and that was a big thing for us.
Yeah.
Other things that we had was gym attached. I guess when I say we, I meant my wife. Gym attached. I don't really care.
I don't know, not necessarily attached, but like the gym
within the complex somewhere.
Coming with an apartment is huge because then you save the expense of having to actually buy a monthly gym membership.
Yeah.
So that was really nice.
Yep.
Number of bedrooms is always a factor. We decided we only needed one for the time being.
We wanted two really badly, but the jump from 1 bedroom to 2 bedroom was crazy. Extreme. I don't know why. To add like 200-300 more square feet. Or not even that much. But Anyway, we had to sacrifice that, which kind of sucks because now my office is touching.
I wish you guys could see.
My office, if you're watching this on YouTube, my office is to the left. I'll just pan the camera over a little bit, and my right elbow touches our kitchen counter, and my left elbow touches this couch that we're on right now.
That's great.
So, yeah. Tough.
Okay. So when you're deciding your non-negotiables, strongly, whatever else you need, that's fine. But one non-negotiable should definitely be that price. And that is something that we decided our non-negotiable ultimately is to not buy a place over our 25%. And that panned out to be really key in our story.
Yep. Definitely. And then most of the places that you look online will have all of this on their website. You won't have to go ask them.
Yeah.
But it is something that we bring up when we go on tours as well. Good.
Good.
Oh, and so the next, I was going to move on. Were you ready to move on?
Yeah, I'm ready to move on.
Okay, sweet.
Let's go.
All right, so after you decide what your needs are, or your non-negotiables, or you just kind of can't live without, or really, really would get frustrated without, go to your wants. And so these are a little more
Roomy.
Yeah, you can put up here and there between different places to see what they've got. But some of our wants, for example, were not my want, but a coffee machine.
Okay, I didn't even realize this was a thing, but once we started shopping around, I guess, for apartments, we would enter these buildings and they'd be like, oh, and one of our amenities is a coffee machine in the lobby. And I was like, what? I didn't even know that was an option.
You won't use it as much as you think.
I use it, but yeah, probably not
I started.
every day.
It was like a placebo effect where I just got it every day for like a month, and then now I haven't gotten it since. Yeah.
Yeah, but I still enjoy it, and it's easy right on my way out the door for work. But definitely a want and not a need.
Yeah.
If they had it, did I think of them a little higher? Yes. I'll go there.
That's terrible. Anyway, some of our other wants were a 2-bedroom, more space, square foot, first floor, a big master bedroom. I like bigger bedrooms. I don't like being cramped. I don't know. The ability to mount TVs and drill in your wall, because I'm a big mounter.
Yeah.
Save some space on the ground and stuff.
Those were pretty much sums up our wants. So you can kind of tell the difference between our non-negotiables and then the things we wanted. And to be honest, we didn't get very many of those things. We got the coffee machine. Yay.
Got the coffee machine. Didn't get first floor. Didn't get a 2-bedroom.
Nope.
Space is pretty small. Master bedroom is also small. But I mounted my TV.
So we each got one.
we each got one out of our like 6 or 7. So
clearly,
again, as you can see, these are what really took over in that area was we wanted to sacrifice how much we paid for where we were living for some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Just so we could, as this being a temporary thing, we wanted to get out of here as fast as we can. And so the faster that we can pay off debt and save up for a home, the faster we can get out of here. So,
yeah. So that being said, like sometimes people look at renting as like a waste of time or a waste of money, but it's definitely like a period of time that you don't want to rush out of because you don't want to go into buying a house when you're not ready.
Yeah.
Because things are going to start happening, things are going to start breaking down. You're not going to be able to afford some things, and you want your house and your home to be a blessing and not something that becomes stressful.
Exactly.
And so we've said we're not going to buy a house until we're 100% ready, even though it's very tempting seeing a lot of people
very, very tempting
buying houses and things like that.
It's rough.
We've been struggling with that a little bit lately, especially. But
the house fever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've committed to renting is not a waste of time. It's a time for us to figure out our financials and make sure we're ready 100% before jumping into that, because it is a big step and it is a big commitment. And you need to treat it like that. It's not just for fun.
Definitely. Sweet.
Yeah.
So from there, do your research. You can go online, type in apartments in your location, apartments close to your location, anything like that. You can look at just basically anything for rent. Apartments, townhomes, even some people are renting old houses they have. So look everywhere. And then come up with a list of some of your favorite places. Write them down, locations, give them a call. We basically toured the entire city of Des Moines before we
Yeah.
finally.
So many.
Yeah, and here's our one of our biggest pieces of advice is don't fall for or don't be quick to act. What apartments will do is they will try and say, we will give you a deal, we will give you a month free if you sign within the next 2 days or by the end of this week. Do not fall for that stuff because they are only doing it to try and con you into staying with them.
Yeah.
There were a lot of places where we really were like, oh, sweet, like, oh, month free, that's so cool. And we're like, oh, we should do it. That'll save us an entire month. No, we ended up getting a way better deal, way better negotiation, and it's just kind of a way it's not really something that's gonna hurt them, but it's a way for them to try and trick you into getting in quick.
Yeah, because once you sign your lease, then you're responsible for lease buyouts and things like that.
And they want you to sign it before you visit any other place.
Yeah, the less time you have to think about it, the more likely you're going to jump on. So they set those deadlines on purpose, and we've literally experienced before time and time again where, this was like semi-recently, where they say, this will be our deal until Friday. So,
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
we call the next
okay.
week. We're like, hey, you guys have any deals? And they had the exact same deal the next week.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So it'll still be there if it's meant to be. It will still be there.
Yeah, it'll still be
You will
there.
be okay.
It's strict.
Think
Definitely.
about it. Don't rush into it.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead
was
with
just
your
going to
appointments.
say, don't settle for like the first place you see or your first favorite place.
Mm-hmm.
Like definitely take some time and figure out where and what works for you, because the place we're in now is something we saw after looking at like 10 million other places. And
Yeah.
we were in another apartment tour and we looked across the street.
No, I took a wrong turn.
Oh, yes.
I was supposed to go to a different apartment, and I couldn't find the turn and went across the bridge. And I'm like, hey, this look not too bad. Why don't we check these out? 'Cause
Yeah.
at the time, we had like 10 appointments set up. Like, why not just add another 11? Who knows?
Well, you said
You
that
never
to
know.
me even. You're like, let's
did.
just check it out. And I was like,
Like,
no, I
yeah.
am so done.
We're so done.
I'm done looking. We're just going to settle.
Yeah. And we're like, all right,
But
just add it on, whatever. Who knows? You never know. And so, luckily, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Come up when you go and you are going to set up these appointments to do tours. We'll just go through this quickly, but you're going to want to come with questions that you want answered, because you don't want to go home having all these questions that you didn't have answered, and you want to make sure you're asking the right things so that you know all the right information. So you want to know, are the utilities included? Do you have to pay for internet or do they?
how fast is the internet?
Yeah, big thing for him since he works
Huge.
from home. If they don't
And
have
game.
fast internet and he knows whatever numbers that is.
It's got to be, for me, it's at least 50 megabytes.
Yeah.
I'd prefer 100, but... Oh, also, with that, ask if you can upgrade too, because usually we'll do like, if it's like 10 extra bucks a month, we'll usually do that to speed it up.
Just makes
for
his
my
life a lot
sake.
easier. How do you pay your rent? Do you pay it online, or what can you do? We actually lived in a place that only accepted checks, like handwritten and mailed.
Yeah, we don't have a checkbook.
Yeah, we do. You've never seen it.
I've never seen a check. I don't get it. It's 2018. I just don't understand.
Anyways, that was actually more inconvenient than you would think.
Yeah.
So, and then maintenance on site is a big thing. Like how quick can they be there to fix something when something goes wrong? You do want to ask about any specials going on, because maybe it is the place you want and there's a decent promotion going on. Like that's okay. Just don't make that your sole deciding factor.
Right. Most places do have a lot of specials. It's kind of because they see other places doing specials, and they all kind of... I don't think we've ever been to a place that didn't really have some sort of special.
No, because right now is definitely the buyer's
Yeah.
market, and there's a ton of apartments.
Yeah.
And then the last thing would be to look at reviews online, see what people are saying about that place, and then bring that up, and don't be afraid to bring it up in your tour. Say, hey, we've done our research.
Yeah.
We know the good things, and here's some of the concerns people had. How do you deal with those? How do you make sure those don't happen, and how do you fix them, etc.?
Right. And so my favorite part is the bargaining process. So this is where you kind of get to throw out some deals that you're thinking of, and see what they say, and then try and bargain back and forth. And this is, I really didn't realize how open these places would be to bargaining. I didn't really think you could bargain much, but
You think of bargaining like the flea market?
yeah,
or
like
other
small,
places?
non-expensive stuff. But especially down here, they are desperate to get you to sign, because a lot of people our age are buying houses and stuff, and there's not very many renters out there. And places that we've looked at over a year ago have had now leasing outside their apartment for over a year because they still can't get people. So this is really fun to do. And so what I like to do is, especially when you ask for like specials and stuff, here's just a prime example of something we did. We asked for a special, and they said they didn't have anything. And we're like, oh man, we were really hoping for like at least a month free because it would really help us out with the moving process or something like that. Threw it out there. And they're like, oh, we don't have a month free. And so I kind of acted just like super disappointed. Like, oh,
You weren't acting. We were actually disappointed.
We were,
Because
but-
another place we were looking at did have that month free. We liked this apartment better. So it was kind of like,
so we
Dang.
told them, we're like, oh, well, this other place had this month free. We liked this better, but without the month free, we can't do it. And so this is the funny part. They, on the spot, they were like, yeah, sorry, we can't do anything. But like 2 days later, we got an email from the person who showed us around. They're like, hey, dude, we're now doing a 1 month free deal on the apartment you looked at. So
yeah, I talked to my manager and we're
yeah,
gonna
talk to
offer
my
you-
manager. And so I'm like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. So act disappointed. Tell them
You
that
don't need to act if you are disappointed.
if you are disappointed,
be genuine. We're not sitting here to
right,
trick people.
don't like just trash the place and say this place sucks. But just tell them, oh, we really like this place, but this other place is giving us a better deal. It looks like we're thinking towards more of that place. Is there anything you can do?
Yeah,
That's kind of
well,
the-
they want that too. They want you to be honest, and ultimately their goal is to satisfy you as their customer. And so if they can do it, they're gonna find a way to do it.
Right. And so, I mean, kind of leave it in their hands and just say, hey, this is what we got. This is what we're looking at. Is there anything you can do? If they say no, just say, okay, here's my card. If anything changes or you have any deals, let me know. And if not, move on. Don't waste your time there. A huge thing is you have to be able to walk away. You have to be able to say, nope, I'm not getting what I want. This isn't a good enough deal for me. I'm out. We're not going here. You've
Yeah.
got to be able to walk away.
And we had to do that time and time again because
And we were so
there are
disappointed
some
too.
nice apartments downtown, and they are beautiful, and you want to live there, and they are really good at making you want to live there too.
Yep, definitely.
We almost fell into that trap, and it would have ended up being like hundreds of dollars a month more for like 2 blocks down the street from us.
Yeah.
And so we luckily did not go with that, but we were very, very, very close to.
Very
and
close.
we would have been probably still sitting here with debt to pay off because it's that big
Yeah.
of a difference, and it can be, and that's why you have to be smart when you make these decisions.
Yep, definitely. Cool.
Yeah. We talked a lot about apartments, and that's because that's the stage we're in. We're just like starting to explore home buying. It will probably be a little while for us, and we're becoming okay with that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Like we said, renting isn't throwing away your money. Like, it's a time for you to become responsible so that you can be entrusted with the responsibility that it does take to own a home.
Yep. And we want to be able to save up enough for a 20% down payment, just so we can so we can avoid some of the expenses that comes with that, like the PMI and all that kind of stuff.
And for those of you that don't know what PMI is, it's okay. We didn't either. It's insurance that you have to pay if you are putting anything less than the 20% down on your home. It depends on how much your home is in order to say how much your PMI insurance is going to be every month. But that's just another expense that you can avoid if you do that. We also know for a fact that we will not buy a home that has a mortgage on we will buy a home with a 15-year fixed mortgage with monthly payments that are below the 25% rule, the 25% below what our monthly take-home pay is.
Yep.
So that is things that we do know we're looking for in a home, and those are our non-negotiables that we already have come up with.
And we'll definitely probably do another episode once we do buy a home, build a home, whatever we decide to do, and the process that goes with that. We're still learning.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of friends who have taught us a lot that too. Mm-hmm. So we hope you've learned a lot about the process. And bottom line, you're not in here forever. This is a sacrifice you're making to fit your financial needs and to help your future. This is all about you in the future and not having to be worried about and being weighed down.
Yep.
And
ultimately it goes down to your commitment level. Mm-hmm. We saw this apartment that we're in right now, which our lease is up in a few months, but we're still here obviously because lease is a lease. And we saw that this is an apartment that can be a short-term sacrifice for long-term gain, and our long-term gain was getting out of debt. And that was possible because we chose an apartment that was within our means and within that 25% and even far below that. So it is worth it.
Yep. And so main takeaways, bargaining. That's my favorite thing.
It literally is his favorite thing.
Yeah. We were able to convince our place into a really good deal.
Yeah.
You're not in here forever. Find a place. You're going to have to sacrifice some stuff. But ultimately you're not in there forever. That's all we got. If you guys have any questions on where we're located, how we got our place, anything like that, any more questions about the apartment, feel free to let us know. Any other questions about anything else, also feel free to let us know. And our links to social media will be in the description. And you can also email us at...
Yeah, we've gotten a couple of those.
Yeah, we have. It's awesome. startingyourlifenow@gmail.com, and we will get back to you or answer your question in an episode if it has to do with that. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode and learned some stuff on how to get an apartment with... Sorry. My camera records 30 minutes at a time, and I had like 5 seconds left, and it shut off on me. So I completely forgot where I'm at. If you guys enjoyed the show, send us your questions. I said that. And that's it. We hope you enjoyed how to find your apartment and or house. We'll probably have some more on that in a bit. So hopefully this episode added value to you guys. And if it did, it would be great if you left a review, a like, whatever, comment, talk it up. And we like to hear that kind of stuff. And we like to interact with you as well. So thanks again. And we will see you guys next week.
Yes. Have a good week.
Peace.